Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to part 2 of what I want to call my 2016 New Year's resolution wrap-up videos. I don't know. I made a part 1 for this video where I was just talking about my 2017 New Year's resolutions. I shared with you guys some of the goals that I wanted to achieve in 2017. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to share with you guys the 5 things that I learned about myself in 2016. So without further ado, let's get started on the 5 things I learned about myself. So the 5 things that I learned about myself are going to be based around my 2016 New Year's resolution, where I told myself I wanted to be more bold in all aspects of my life. I don't know if any of you guys know this or anyone who's watching this video, but I do have anxiety, and if any one of you guys know what anxiety is, you guys know that one of the hardest things to do when you have anxiety is kind of get out of your own head. Basically, you have all these thoughts in your head, you don't really know what to do with them, so they get stuck in there and they bounce around, and they feed you negative thoughts and stuff like that. So my 2016 resolution was to be more bold with taking those thoughts out of my head and either saying them, sharing them with people, writing them down, expressing them to family members, or any of that stuff. I wanted to get all those thoughts just like out of my head and just stick with it. I wanted to be more bold, and I wanted to be able to feel strong when I did those things, just go on about my day. I didn't want to, live inside my head anymore, so to speak. So one of the things that I learned about myself in 2016, when I look back now, is I learned how to be patient with myself. That's one of the things that I struggled with so much, because I'm a perfectionist. I want things done at a certain time, at a certain place. I like organization. So in 2016, I really had to learn how to be patient with myself. I really had to sit down and tell myself, listen, you might not get this done today, but I want you to know that it is okay, because that is one of the hardest things to do, is to be patient with yourself, to give yourself that time to adjust to the different changes that are coming in and out of your life. Give yourself time to achieve your goals. What you need to do is you need to focus on what is happening now. One of my biggest things was when I started school, I wanted to just get in there, and I just wanted to kick ass, and I wanted to do so great. I put myself up here from the beginning. So every time I wanted to achieve something, every time I wanted to go somewhere, every time I wanted to get an amazing mark on a test, this is what I was expecting. But then whenever that didn't happen, I would come down here, because I'm I don't understand. I told myself I was going to do great things. I told myself I was going to do great on that test. I told myself that I was going to either pass or get an A+. I told myself that. So I don't understand why that's not happening. And that's what kind of fed into my whole anxiety, panic attack type stories that I've been sharing with you guys. So in 2016, I told myself I need to start being more patient with myself. I am only one person. I can only do so much. And I need to start accepting that in myself, because I know what it's like to overwhelm my brain with so much things and knowing that I cannot achieve it all in one day. So in 2016, I learned how to be patient with myself. I learned how to relax. I learned how to be okay with not doing everything all at once, leaving 2 or 3 things for the next day. And that is such an important step when it comes to your mental health. Being patient with yourself and telling yourself it's okay that I didn't do this all today. It's just simply okay. There is always tomorrow. Okay, so another thing that I learned about myself in 2016, I guess I can't really say, I don't know if I can say what I learned about myself, but it's what contributed to all the other steps that I'm going to be talking about. One thing I learned about myself in 2016 is that the world does not revolve around me. I know it sounds so you thought the world just revolved around you. I know it sounds kind of out there and a little bit far-fetched, but honestly, with having anxiety and with always being in your head, you constantly think that people are staring at you. You constantly think that people are talking bad shit about you, bad stuff about you. You constantly think that, oh, that person's looking at me. Oh, that person thinks I failed. Oh, that person, notices that, I have this stain on my butt, or that person's looking at me. When you have anxiety, those are the kind of negative things that, rush through your brain along with another million of other thoughts. So what I had to learn about myself in 2016 is that no one really even cares. I'm wearing this outfit today and no one is looking at it. No one is paying as much attention to it as I am. I'm the one, putting it out there. I'm the one assuming that person is looking at the stain that's on my butt. I'm the one assuming that these people are staring at me. I don't know that they're actually staring at me, because they're not going to run up to me and say, you know that I'm staring at you, right? You could see that I'm staring at you, right? They're not going to do that. And if someone does do that, then I don't know where to go from there. But no one is going to do that. And I had to learn that, I had to stop, literally, I had to stop, look at my surroundings and just see how many people are actually looking at me. How many people are actually paying attention to what I'm doing right now? I'm holding my phone up in the mall, taking a selfie. Maybe one or two people are staring at me, but not everyone is looking at me. And I had to kind of get outside of my head to think that, because I literally thought that, no, everyone is going to see me fail. Everyone's going to see me do this, and I don't want everyone to see me do that. I don't want that. So I really had to step outside of myself to see what it is that other people are paying attention to. And it was never me. Like I said, maybe one or two people, will, glance at you, but then they're just going to go about their own business, because literally the world does not revolve around me. And that's honestly what I thought. And that's why I was always so scared to share my thoughts and scared to share my feelings. I kept everything on the inside. And, I didn't express myself enough. So that just kind of led into me getting sad, into me not loving myself, into anxiety, and into depression, into me thinking all these negative thoughts. And if you are going through something like that, I want you to, if you're going to get anything from this video, I want you to understand that whatever it is that you're feeling on the inside, it is real and it is true. And the one thing you need to do is you need to get help for it. You need to talk to someone, because mental health is a very important thing to me right now. And if you asked me about this stuff maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would kind of brush it off. But going through, the stuff that I went through within the span of 2 years is unbelievable. And I'm not saying I went through the worst thing ever. All I'm just saying is that I never knew that the things that were going on inside my head were causing me, my physical body, to feel the way that it felt. I never knew I was even uncomfortable in my own skin until I started analyzing myself, until I had that panic attack, until I had that breakdown and didn't even know what to do with myself. So that's another thing that I learned about myself in 2016, is that the world does not revolve around me, and I can just continue to live my life and go about my business every day without thinking that everyone is watching my every move and everyone is analyzing me and, picking me apart and, noticing all my little flaws. Because to be honest, me thinking that is just what I thought about myself. I thought those negative things about myself. I was thinking that, okay, I don't really like my hair today, so other people are going to notice that I don't like my hair today. Because deep down, I don't like my hair today. Or deep down, I don't like the way I did my makeup. Or deep down, I don't honestly, truly love myself, so no one else is going to be able to love me. I don't know if that makes sense. That's all psychology talk, but it's true. If you're projecting something onto the world because you're assuming that they're going to see you that way, you need to take a look at yourself as to why you are even feeling that way, to project that out into the world and assume that other people are thinking that stuff about you. And that's something that, I really want more people to be more conscious of. Be more conscious of what you think and why you think that way. So let's move on to the third thing that I learned about myself in 2016. So in 2016, I learned to accept what comes. Literally, like whatever comes my way, I learned how to accept that. And I'm not saying that, like, if anything were to happen right now, I just need to like open my arms and be like, hey, just come here. Basically, what I'm saying is I just accepted what came into my life and what left my life, basically. Whether it was friends, whether it was work, whether I missed the bus that day, whether I didn't do my homework that day. I just kind of learned to accept that it came and left out of my life, I guess you can say, for a reason. Because if I noticed that when I sit and I sat on what happened or what didn't happen, it would make me feel like crap. And I told myself I don't want to feel the way that I felt before. So in 2016, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work and take notice of the things that make me happy, take notice of the things that make me sad, take notice of the things that make me uncomfortable, take notice of the things that scare me, the people that scare me, the places that scare me, take notice of what I'm thinking, and try to really dig deep as to why I'm thinking that way. I really wanted to do that in 2016, and I feel like I did do that in 2016. And even right now, going into this new year, I feel like I have come to a place in my mind and in my thinking of where I can sit down with myself, talk to myself, analyze my brain, pick it a little bit, and be like, all right, that's what you need to work on. So let's go. So in 2016, I just wanted to be able to take hold of those things and just kind of accept what they are. But before doing that, I needed to understand what they are and just accept them that this is a part of me. And once I accepted that this is a part of who I am, or this is something that makes me, I guess you can say, special, then I would bring that in, and that would make me feel 100% better. If not anything else, it would just make me feel better because I'm taking that and it's like I'm owning up to it. That's a very important thing when it comes to self-love and self-growth and, being confident and loving yourself, is when you accept, even though you have flaws, that's just who you are. Everyone has flaws and no one is perfect. But so once you take those things in, no one can touch you. No one can poke fun at you and then you feel a certain way because you already know those things about yourself. So if anyone is watching, like this video, and if they want to take, anything away from it, just accept what comes. So the fourth thing that I learned about myself in 2016 was to be thankful. I learned how to just be more accepting of, just kind of like who I am and what people say to me, because whenever people would give me, compliments or say something positive or nice, I never really knew what to do with that compliment. It was just always such an awkward thing for me. So in 2016, I just wanted to be more thankful for what I had. I had a roof over my head and I had food to eat every day, and I needed to be very thankful for that because a lot of people around the world do not have any of that stuff. And the fact that I got to wake up every morning and I wasn't outside in the cold or in the rain, I had to be thankful for that. The fact that I woke up and I can make myself this big lavish breakfast, I had to be thankful for that. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, like I know there are poor people in the world and I know that there are rich people in the world. That's where my thought always started and ended, is that I know there are rich people, I know there are poor people, and that was just the extent of what I thought. But when I actually took the time to be like, no, like literally some people do not have a roof over their head, it made me feel ways on the inside. It made me feel like I need to be thankful for this. And even though sometimes I was always struggling to make my rent, sometimes I would always ask other people for money, or sometimes I just didn't know where the money would come from, but then somehow the money would come. I had to be thankful that, I had to be thankful that at the end of the day, I'm still here. I'm still here, struggling, yes, but I have a roof over my head. I had to look at myself and I had to analyze that. But Shakira, what do you have? What do you have? Okay, you might not have, a fancy car or a fancy apartment or live in this like big city with all this like extra money in the bank, but what do you have? Look at it. You have this, you're able to afford a phone to make phone calls if you want to talk to your family members. You know, you're able to, you know, buy clothes if you need and food if you need. You're able to do all that stuff. So I had to learn to be more thankful for the things that I do have. And in 2016, I really learned how to do that. Yeah, but being thankful and, you know, showing gratitude has been super helpful for me, because it's showed me that I can think a little bit differently. I can think more positively in myself. You know, I can show people that, hey, I care about you, so I'm gonna say thank you for giving that to me. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for talking to me. I'm able to say those things now because those things make me feel good on the inside. And I know at first it might feel awkward, especially if like you're like a shy person, or, you know, you aren't really that, you know, emotionally charged or anything. I know it might feel awkward at first, but believe you me, the person that you are talking to, or the person that you're sharing these thoughts and feelings with, truly accepts that we are all humans. So we want to hear these things and we want to feel good. But it's unfortunate that some of us don't feel good, and it's unfortunate that some of us aren't happy in our lives. But, you know, as long as you take the steps to really analyze yourself and really study who you are right now, and I guess you could say who you want to become, then you can start working on those things little by little, and you will start to see that change. It's kind of like working out. You know, you're not just gonna do jumping jacks and sit-ups and then automatically have abs. It just doesn't work like that. It's a constant thing, and you have to constantly, you know, work on it. It's just what it is. Okay, so the fifth and final thing that I want to share with you guys that I learned about myself in 2016 is I learned in 2016 that I was not happy. But to be completely honest with you, in 2016 was the year that changed everything. And that's gonna sound so cheesy. In 2016, I feel like everything changed for me because I realized so many things. And that was the year that I realized I am not happy. And happy means so much more than, okay, so you just mentioned that you were thankful that you had a roof over your head. So doesn't that make you happy? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an overall feeling of content, an overall feeling of this is what my life is and I'm gonna take it. I realized that a lot of parts of me were hurt and were broken, and I didn't spend enough time dealing with those things and trying to heal my wounds, I guess you can say. And I'm not going to talk about what they are in this video, but I realized for the longest time I was holding on to so much. I was holding on to just a lot, along with, you know, having, you know, thoughts in my head constantly and all that stuff. I was holding on to a lot of stuff from my past and from my childhood, and I never dealt with that in a proper, healthy way. I never dealt with that, because at this point, you know, like, I was working on myself and I was just trying to understand, you know, what was going on and like why do I still feel the way that I feel, you know, and a little part of me was just like, you know what, like, don't rush it, just accept it as it comes and all that stuff. So one day it just literally kind of just clicked in my head, and it's like something just, it's like a light switch just went like, and that's what it was. You know, I learned that I was not happy. And then from me learning that I was not, like, happy, I had to ask myself, okay, so then what makes you happy then? You know what I mean? Because being happy is different for different people. We are all different. We're not all the same. We're wired different. So I had to ask myself, okay, well, what makes you happy? And I didn't really know what made me happy around that time. So I had to do some more digging and do some more research and get really uncomfortable with myself. We are constantly growing as people and evolving as humans. I just want to put it out there that if there's something in your life that is nagging at you and something that you feel that just doesn't fit right or it doesn't sit right with you in your heart and in your head, then I definitely 100% you sit down with someone, you talk to someone, you journal it, you get it out. You know, if there's one tip I can leave you with on this video, just get it out of your head, because that can sit there for a long time and you never know what kind of damage it will do to you in the future. So those are just, you know, the 5 things that I learned about myself in 2016. And I'm sorry if it got a little bit heavy. It's just that's where I am right now in my life, is really tapping into my emotions and really tapping into the things that make me feel, and the things that I want out of life. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what makes me Shakira, is sharing those emotional, personal, like life things with other people, if they want to take it or not. And that's what I want my channel, you know, to partly be about, is, you know, growing and sharing those life experiences, because we are all growing and none of us is perfect, and we are all still like people growing and evolving. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. And also, don't forget to check out part 1, where I share with you some of my resolutions and some of my goals and some of the things that I want to do in 2017. And thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I'll see you guys next time on my channel.